It is 13th of December on the Single Malt Review. I'm Dave, this is Tim, and it's time for another mystery dram.
Mm-hmm. It's time to hope for the best once again.
Lucky number 13, or not. This is, of course, the 14th whiskey we've tried, thanks to the life-saving parachute dram, but
indeed.
nonetheless.
Life-savingly delicious.
Ooh. I'm seeing a darker hue.
I am, yeah.
I'm seeing some foam. That tells me relatively little. Nope, it's gone. Haha.
All right, let's not make too many guesses before it's not even out of the bottle. We could lead ourselves astray very efficiently. All right, let's see. Oh, that's definitely darker. All right, look at that. Look at that.
I like it already.
And hang on.
That's familiar. There's
a weirdness there.
It's giving me the impression. I'm not going to say what's on my mind because that will taint all our preconceptions forever.
I'll say this: there's a weird waxy soapiness on this.
Even slightly.
Probably like soapy is probably a bit unkind, but
medicinal.
There is a medicinal. There's a spice. There's a real waxy candle paraffin thing, and there's a youth. This is not particularly old. And it's got like new whiskey, there's young whiskey and then there's young distillery. We're kind of in this at the moment because New Zealand is currently on a very rapid ascension to becoming a proper distilling nation, and so everybody and their dog and their dog's children are experimenting with making whiskey, and the results are genuinely mixed. There's some great stuff out there, and there's some kind of iffy. There's some wobbles out there as well, but it all shares this. This is only just ready kind of a thing, and that's what it kind of speaks to me. So I think this could be, though it's very, very dark. But well, I mean that's extremely stupid. I think because I was leaning in a lowland, a new lowland direction, and I just think of all lowland whiskies as intrinsically bourbon matured and thus quite light. But that's very, very pejorative way of thinking of lowland whiskies. Of course, they do share an example. They're just not as it's not typical to the style, I guess. But there's like a peatiness here, which is very, very. I mean, that I will put my foot down. That is very, very unusual for lowland to be peated.
I'm not picking peat, but I'm not going to say what's on my mind because... Oh. Is that Manuka smoke?
Oh, I was going to say, is that grain whiskey? But no. No, those are two completely different things. Hang on, currently no, but let me put some water in. If it is, it's subtle. If it is, I'm going to say this, because I was able to taste...
Oh, wow,
I was able to taste their range just last Thursday. This is not Thompson's. If this is Manuka smoke, it's not Thompson's. Theirs is loud and proud with the old smoke. This is very subtle in comparison. And I'm still not even sure I'm there with you with the smoke.
Indeed. It's just that Thompson's aren't the only Manuka smoked New Zealand whiskey either.
As we discovered.
But could it be... or even...
There is a lot of wood on this.
Yeah.
This tastes like This tastes like the Ardnamurchan AD releases that they had in these little micro casks, and they kind of kept up in the rafters. Charles McLean up there wafting them with a handkerchief, aging them as fast as they possibly can.
Supercharged maturation.
And I'm getting weird sherry, like there's weird PX and stuff on this. This has all the hallmarks of young whiskey that's been rushed is probably being unkind, but it's been accelerated. This has been through the whiskey time machine.
Yeah. It has the wood on this is so quirky. It's so unusual. That's where I'm thinking Manuka smoke from. And you look at our board of clues. Keeping in mind there is still a mystery option.
There is.
Could it be a new lowland distillery? Maybe. Could it be a Japanese expression? Again, maybe.
If either or, I'd think new Japanese before I'd think lowland. No part of this speaks to me of lowland. It's very rambunctious. It's very heavy, soupy. I'm not sure what the strength is.
Not super high, I don't believe.
Sadly, I'm not getting any pain, so I can't use the pain units, but this strikes me as a 46er, just at how it's treating me. How it's treating me on the tongue. This is a problem.
Yeah.
I'm just...
Damn it.
When you said Manuka smoke and it started to poison my brain, I was like...
That's why I held off for so long. My first impression was, slightly medicinal, slightly root-like.
But now I'm more like...
could it be the Loch Lomond because it's kind of slightly medicinal, slightly Irish mossy?
The sound I'm making on the peat smoke, or the Manuka smoke, is becoming more... It's less...
Or is it one of the novel Japanese expressions which I'm less familiar with. I just don't know. Oh. They say ignorance is bliss.
Okay,
Never been in this situation.
Here's a really, really unhelpful take. This does taste like New Zealand whiskey because
Right.
it doesn't taste quite ready. It tastes rushed and like it's been through some really, really, really small, extremely active, overactive casks.
Right.
And we've kind of lost the spirit character along the way because I've tasted so much of this being out and about on our local distilling scene. And as kind of ropey as some of the very young, the Matsui, despite that was probably the worst offender, they were young in a different way. They were young as in they were so under-oaked.
Yeah.
These are the young Japanese examples I'm talking about, that the spirit character was just there and raw and completely unready. This is, if anything, cask-dominated, like
Right.
over-casked, but at an extremely young age, because it's kind of... Basically, I'm throwing this whiskey under the bus, which could come back to bite me if it is a local producer, so I am sorry if it does turn out to be.
No, I think it's fairly young whiskey, but not in a bad way. It just has such an intense... The wood is so strong. I think that's why I'm thinking Manuka smoke.
There is peat in there. There is either peat or smoke in here somewhere, but it's a very, very light touch.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have that... either, Manuka smoke is one of those things where if you've got it, you know.
Yeah.
In its smoke form or its honey form, goodness knows if you chewed on a tree, maybe you'd know then too. But in its smoke or culinary form, it is one of those. It's one of those flavors which is pretty unmistakable, and it is a mix of medicinal and smoke, I guess.
Shall we lock in our guesses, put ourselves and the audience out of our festive Christmas misery?
You know what? If you've got the Manuka smoke, that leaves me free to kind of take it a bit easier with a different pick. So yeah, you're good on Manuka smoke malt.
Not
Okay.
100%, but it's as good a guess as any.
Okay, let's cheat even further.
Yep.
I will give you outside info saying this is not Thompson's. Thompson's,
Okay.
this ain't.
No, I think if it
So
was
go for the
Thompson's Manuka
scapegrace.
smoked, I would, yeah.
Yep, and that's your phoner friend. You phoned one with your voice. He's right here, and he says definitely go for the scapegrace on this one because
Yeah.
Thompson's, this ain't.
No.
They make Manuka smoke whiskey that lets you know about when you open the bottle.
Yeah.
Not... we would
it's not
not be
the-
asking this question.
Can't be the batch 10 because that is a bourbon which has been smoked with Manuka after
Yeah.
that, and so that's not malt.
This
obviously.
isn't bourbon.
No,
This ain't.
exactly, it's Manuka smoked malt is our clue. So,
Okay. Different pick.
yeah.
Different pick.
Like if I was going to pick something else, I'd pick Japan. But
Yeah.
it could be. Oh,
All right, I'll go Japan. I'll go Japan.
Right.
There's nothing more sensible. I'll say if it is Japanese, I'm rooting for Dave's one here. I think he's probably got the sounder pick. But over here in the midfields, sort of groping around, I'm going to say there's just a possibility that this is an odd Japanese experiment where they might have gone for a quirky wood or some sort of smoke of their own, or so maybe they've found peat in Japan somewhere. They found peated seaweed, or who knows? Who knows? I'll take that as the outlier.
no,
and
imported peat.
we
That's the
will
thing. Yeah,
hope for
maybe
the
a
best.
Scottish peat for Japanese malt.
All right, I think we're time to do the damage.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
just
a
how
weird one.
wrong we are.
Why am I even putting it here? Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Oh, come here. Oh, I'm reading it.
Oh,
No, it's dense.
That's all right.
There's a lot on the card. Oh, why are you fighting me?
I'll avert my eyes, make sure I don't see any stray words with my admittedly
No, I'm going
not
to push
great
it out from
eyesight.
the other side. There you go. Technology. Here we go.
13, lucky for some.
I think I
Unlucky
held
for
it
some,
upside
even.
down, but anyway. Yeah, Scapegrace Revenant.
Yes.
So yeah, you're right. You're quite right. Manuka smoked Virgin
Oh,
Oak 3 years
3
old.
years. Wow, that is an amazing level of flavour for 3 years old and in a virgin oak cask as well. All credit
That
to them. This is
will
my first Scapegrace whiskey, and it's
That'll be why it tastes so
Yeah.
rushed if it was virgin wood. Fully matured, not
so much intense wood. There's the vigour you get from virgin oak. It just imparts so much sap, so much young timber, but also Manuka smoke, which is normally used for like anything
that
from,
is
say,
the smoke on this is so restrained.
Yeah.
So restrained. Even now I'm having trouble gripping it. As Manuka. It's clearly peated, like there's clearly smoke.
Okay.
But
I don't get any peat. I get smoke, like
but
it's been
versus
wood
the
smoked.
versus the Thompson's
I get
offerings,
side of salmon or anything else that gets a Manuka smoke.
it's kind
treatment.
of night and day.
I
well,
like that.
hey,
I
I'll
like
take
it a lot.
I will
honestly.
take points. I kind of don't.
Right.
One thing I never like Virgin Oak
Right.
because it works as a finish. I think if you try to make if you try to make whiskey like you're making bourbon, I've only ever seen results that start at
Yeah.
iffy and end in disaster. And there's the thing there. They always there's this rushed taste to them because it takes on wood character so fast that the spirit doesn't have time to mature along the way. It drinks so much
Yeah.
woody goodness out, which is good on its own thing, but it means it becomes over oaked so quickly because this is all of 3 years old.
When it's Manuka smoked, it has been infused with wood already. Like in the way that peat smoke imparts peaty character into your barley, into your malt in the first instance, you get that with Manuka. You're just like wafting the literal wood vapors straight up into that barley.
I don't know. Maybe I'm probably being overcritical, but yeah, I think no matter what's happened to the whiskey, virgin oak always gives you a slightly
It is really impressive. It's a single cast type.
a slightly sus result.
It is virgin oak. It's only 3 years, but it's got level of character, color, flavour, and just the intensity of the wood.
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad it hasn't completely washed up on unfavourable shores here. Yeah, I have my qualms, but by no means bad whiskey. It's perfectly enjoyable. Just not maybe
It
less
is wildly
balanced.
different. It will, if you're not familiar with, even if you are familiar with whiskey, if you're familiar with Manuka smoke or not, this will challenge your palate. This is a very confronting, very novel, very individual whiskey, and that is
what we can do. Is get the big old tick out there because that's full points. So I'm pleased with that one, even if I have qualms about the whiskey.
yes, Manuka smoked malt.
I don't like the way this is going. There's some real shockers coming. And I'm afraid, Dave. I'm afraid. So join us tomorrow and see if I'm right to be afraid. But hey, is that Are we 2 days into a streak?
Could be.
No, we're not.
No?
We only got a half point note today. But we are living in the times of the streak, so let's see if we can continue.
We're over halfway, certainly.
Okay,
See
wish
you
us
again
luck.
tomorrow.